I'm John Batchelor. Mary Kissel of the Opinion Journal at WSJ.com is my colleague and co-host, and we're joined by our colleague John Fund of the National Review Online, and we welcome Reza Khalili. This is a pseudonym. The voice is on a modulator. The man is under sentence of death, and threats are routine, thrown out by the IRGC. That's the terror outfit that works for the supreme leader in Tehran. And what we're concerned with here is not the Assad regime, which is, after all, a stooge of larger players. We're concerned with Tehran, the supreme leader. Hassan Rouhani, the cleric, the newly elected president of Iran, is on his way to New York for the organizing of the United Nations. It's an annual event, but this will be his first time on the world stage. Reza, very good evening to you. Rouhani, he's coming to New York. He's bringing a peace deal. Does he believe the Obama administration, after these mistakes in Syria, is ready for his peace deal? Good evening, Reza.
Good evening, John. Thanks so much for having me. Well, my information is that Rouhani has been authorized by Khamenei to bring the old proposal by the Russians, which was a step-by-step plan, and try to talk his way into having U.S. accepted. And they believe that they've got a great opportunity now, especially with the situation in Syria, and with the Obama administration backing down from its threats. It's been their analysis all along that the military action by the Obama administration, it's a red line, and they believe that they have an opportunity now to sweet-talk their way into international acceptance of their nuclear energy and then give a little bit back.
And so what's the quid pro quo here, Reza? That Assad stays in place, but the Iranians keep him on a tight leash, and we withdraw sanctions? I mean, what's the end goal scenario, aside from the nuclear program? They're going to measure our determination, response, and seriousness, but he is authorized to give up the 20% enrichment in return for the acceptance of Iranian nuclear program, which is the regular 3.5% enrichment, Natanz in place, Fardo in place. They're going to allow inspectors IAEA inspectors to visit Parchin. We all know that Parchin has been cleaned for a few years now, and so they're going to give in a little. But what they're going to ask is that the West needs to show good faith and remove some of the sanctions. They need some of these sanctions removed because their economy is in a dire situation. They're spending billions in Syria helping Assad. And so, again, they feel that the U.S. is on its knees. It cannot afford another war, and it prefers negotiation, and there is a time that they can take more than they expected before.
If the Russian proposal that they've worked out with the Iranians is very similar to what's been talked about for months or years, how will the Obama administration, if it's tempted to take this deal, how can it possibly justify that it wasn't taken before? Are there going to be any added sweeteners or incentives or smokescreens that will be complementing it?
That's a great question, and anything can be sold to the public. They will allow inspection. That would be a great headline, and they will announce collaboration with the IAEA, stop the 20% enrichment if they have to, and so these would be great headlines and great inroads into a negotiated solution. They feel that they can make that. They know that the Obama administration is in a bind right now, both at home and internationally, and they cannot afford another confrontation, and that being with Iran.
Reza, what does this mean for Israel? Is Israel just going to roll over and accept a nuclear Iran that's an existential threat to Israel's existence?
Well, I've said this for a long time, and this is my opinion, that Israel, if it doesn't move, U.S. will not do anything about this. We've allowed so much time to the regime to progress with its nuclear program, and if they don't have the bomb right now, they're in process of having it. We cannot fool ourselves. They've been working on this for over a decade. They're working on intercontinental ballistic missiles. They've got over 1,000 ballistic missiles. They've armed Hezbollah, Syria to the teeth. And so Israel needs to make a decision now. My opinion is Israel needs to take action. no matter what the consequences, because once the regime has the nuclear bomb, then Israel will cease to exist in the coming years, unfortunately, because the least of it is that the proxies will continuously attack Israel and keep it under pressure.
Reza, Riyadh, the kingdom. The kingdom has everything to lose if Iran wins. How does Iran satisfy the kingdom, or does it continue the aggression? Does it split the kingdom? Is that what it means to do? Not only take control of Syria, but the kingdom as well?
Well, you see, the analysis has been that the U.S. has left that region and has left its allies alone, and that includes Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And what you are witnessing right now is a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran, from Bahrain, Yemen, to Jordan, to Egypt, to Syria, and so they're trying to destabilize each other's allies, and there is a real war behind the scene going between these two countries. And so Iran is going to be much more aggressive, much more emboldened, and they want to make a deal with U.S. that would put much more pressure on...
Reza, I want to make sure I'm hearing you. You think that they're going to continue their aggression towards Riyadh? You think that will not stop with the peace deal with the U.S.?
No, actually, they're going to be more emboldened with that action.
That's the Gulf, not just Riyadh, all of the Gulf, the Emirates, everything, Qatar, Bahrain, all of it. The Iranians will continue the aggression.
Yes, they feel that the U.S. does not have a presence there. They feel that they're in a position to expand power significantly. They've tried to destabilize Bahrain. They've tried to destabilize Yemen, and so forth.
Mary, I think I've found your worst-case scenario.
Yeah, not to mention the role of the Chinese, which we haven't talked about at all.
Reza Khalili.
Next time.
Time to Betray, the award-winning author. John Fund of the National Review Online. And Mary Kissel, my colleague and co-host, also host of her own show, Opinion Journal, each day at WSJ.com at 1 p.m. East Coast time. And the Gulf in flames, there's a scenario. I'm John Batchelor.